Strode and welcome to Straightforward. Today we are on location at David Benefield's magnificent florist, and this is Highland Hall. And I know this is not where you started your fabulous career as a florist, a designer, wedding extraordinaire. Your work is just amazing. And I had the pleasure of first meeting you at NBC 38, and you were there with Dee Armstrong, and I learned something from you the first time I met you about orchids. I had received one for a gift. I'm clueless. I don't have a green thumb, and your advice to me was just put ice cubes in it.
That's right.
And so that was wonderful advice, but you know, for people that don't have a green thumb, that worked for a while, but then I was clueless. Needless to say, we won't talk about that orchid. But your story is just amazing, and I wanted you to share it with our audience, and particularly our young people, because it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And you shared with me in advance that you actually started working for Anne as a teenager.
I worked actually before her, even as a teenager, and then with her.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I started in Alabama originally.
Really?
And Eufaula.
Okay, so you're originally from Eufaula, so we have been blessed to steal you on this side of the Chattahoochee, all of that talent that you have. And so how did we get to Highland Hall? Because this is not where you always.
No, that's right. We were down on the park at Ann's Porch, which is
at Lake Bottom.
At Lake Bottom, and that was great. And for 37 years.
37 years?
37 years in that location. I bought it from her 20 years ago or so. And then I decided to move into Highland Hall and live here and then have a florist here. I really thought about doing it so that when I got older, I would slow down. But it's just, it's increased.
Right, when you
so
moved
much.
here, it's so beautiful. I mean, every single room, it's like the queen, it's royalty. Prince Charles, he's now the king, he could come here. But from when you started with Anne's Porch, you were an employee.
I was.
And then 20 years ago, you went from being the employee to being the owner. And then one day, you got brave enough to leap from the next couple blocks up.
Change the name.
Change the name to this historic property.
Right. And that the property was part of the draw. I'd always loved it. I'd ridden by it and just loved it. And it was built in 1857.
1857.
Old house, and I've always loved old houses. So one day I thought I can live here. I bought it from Gloria who was an artist who owned it.
So that's why it's so beautiful and ornate. Every single room.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
And you were sharing with me that this wallpaper is 80 years old.
On this wall, 80 years. Yes.
Really? And it's not faded.
No, it's amazing. They wouldn't make it this good now.
I know, right? Probably would last 3 months if they made it now, right? Because we're not making a lot of things in the USA. And so when you came, it just grabbed you.
I knew it was made from it. I remember walking in this house and thinking, there are 4 parlor rooms, original house, and I thought that could be the store. There are French doors that divide into where the work area, and then there are other French doors into my living space, which I live.
Okay.
I had planned to live upstairs. I camped out a few days downstairs and never moved upstairs. So
that plan changed.
Yeah. So upstairs is storage mainly.
Okay. And so you were sharing with me, you have a lot of history, and people can Google it.
Yes, it's a fascinating story. There's a wonderful guy who writes lots of stories about Highland Hall. He stayed here when it was a boarding house in early age, when he was a young man, and he's up in age now, so it's pretty impressive. He talked about it being a boarding house and an eccentric lady who owned it, and all the tales, and about the ghosts. There are ghosts.
There are ghosts.
Several murders in the house. The original owner was murdered in the next parlor.
Really?
It was.
And this is back in 18 something.
Yeah, right.
So the original owner was murdered, and then you had a second murder.
A murder in the dining room.
In the dining room.
What went during boarding house.
Okay, so boarding house, all men, and we had a very colorful woman that was running this establishment.
She was very interesting, and the story you have to read. It is so interesting. She embellished the truth a lot, and she talked about the furnishings being gone with the wind. None of these are hers.
Exactly.
Exactly. But
it was empty.
It was empty.
This is your personal collection.
But she talked about having the dead from gone with the wind. She's very interesting. And he talked about her being very conservative and taking the light bulbs out when he left his room to save on energy.
Really?
And it's quite an interesting story.
Right. And so let's talk about that ghost
Yes.
thing. You
The
said
story that's on the internet is called The Unseen Horror at Highland Hall.
The Unseen Horror at Highland Hall.
That's right.
Okay.
And it talks about the old lady and the ghost and all of those sort of things. And we've experienced a few things, but nothing that I'm afraid of. I'm absolutely not afraid. But one of the things is that there's a light on in the room where he was murdered.
Right.
That light will come on.
On its own.
On its own.
And it's not because you're having an electrical problem, because this place it's just amazing.
Right.
The care of it. It makes you not even want to walk with your shoes on the floor. No, it's so elegant. So I know it's not because it's a disrepair or something with the electricity.
But the fun story is when I came home one time from when I first moved in my bedroom. I'm the only one with the key to that room. And I have 2 lamps that are only for looks.
Right.
And so they were not on.
Purely decorative.
Right. So I used to overhead light. But anyway, I came in one night after being out with some friends, and those 2 lamps were on. And
So
they
they left the
left
light
the light
on
on
for you. I love
That's
that.
right.
It's like, no, you're not coming in the dark. So when you're moving around at night, do you leave the place lit?
It is. If you ride by any night, you'll see the front parlors are always lit beautifully. And one room in his room, I decided to leave the light on because if I turn it off, it comes on again.
Oh my goodness!
So, but I'm not afraid.
You're not afraid?
No.
Because it's all friendly stuff.
And they're happy I'm here, and I'm happy they're here.
Right. Well, you restored the home. Yes, that is
But the
amazing.
stories are worth reading.
And so, tell me again.
The Unseen Horror at Highland Hall.
The Unseen Horror at Highland Hall.
And there are others, but that one will get you the most of them. We can link to the next.
Okay.
So
Yeah. No, we need to make sure that we
That's
follow
your
up
Halloween
with that
story
one.
when you come back.
Oh, see, that's a very good one. So we will have to do one during that time because that really will fit in. Well, what we're going to do now, Dave, we're going to go to our first break to our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Right.
We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors.
Straightforward is brought to you by State Senator Ed Harbison, serving the citizens of Georgia's 15th Senatorial District and on the front lines for veterans every day. Progressive Funeral Home, family owned and operated since 1952. The George Ford legacy of high standards continues today in the compassionate and professional services provided. A touch of dignity for those who care. Progressive Funeral Home, 4235 St. Mary's Road, trusted by generations.
And welcome back to Straightforward. I am enjoying this fabulous visit with David Benefield at the Highland Hall, the mysterious Highland Hall, and you must go out and Google this because the story is just intriguing, more than I knew, so now I have to go out and check. But your story is something that's inspirational. I always tell people it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And you told me you came from very humble beginnings over in Alabama.
I did. I grew up in Alabama with a grandmother. My parents were divorced, we were poor. And my first job was delivering flowers, and I was 16, didn't have a driver's license. I had a driver's license, didn't have a car.
Okay.
So I got to drive around. It was a
Smart.
terrible car.
But still you were driving.
I got to drive.
Right.
And then wound up being stuck at the store one day, having to tie bow, and just little things led to another until I learned to design some. And then came here to work with Van, and then I bought it from her.
See? So what you thought you were doing so you could drive a car with
That's
the
right.
driver's license so you didn't have a car. Right. But then it forced you into circumstances presented itself where you could learn skills, and then you had a gift.
For 47 years.
47 years, and we look at these are beautiful.
Aren't they pretty? This
Yes.
is my favorite one. I have to show you this one. This is called Free Spirit. It's grown in Ecuador. In Ecuador, they leave them on the bush until they begin to pop up.
Really?
And
they look like plastic, but they're real because I immediately touched
look how they are, how many petals they have. This is
Yes.
my favorite one to use in weddings. It lasts a long time, and it just gets huge like a peony.
Really?
And flowers that are grown in Ecuador are so much better because they let them stay on the bush and live in the open. That's why sometimes you get roses that are very tight.
And they won't open.
They never open.
Right.
They're mass produced and they're cut too soon.
They're mass produced and they're cut too
That's
soon.
right. And so they're never going to open properly. But if you get one of these, they're amazing. They will last for 2 weeks. Sometimes you keep cutting.
Really?
And we use this in a lot of things, weddings and churches.
So because I love beautiful flowers, and my Facebook friend, Mr. Padden, gives me flowers on Facebook every day. I wish they were real, but at least he's thoughtful enough to give them to me on Facebook. Probably couldn't keep them alive. But what you're saying is just cut them every day.
That's right. And new drinking water, because it's just like your skin. The thing about this is a stem, you need to get the water to the head.
Okay.
And it's like the pores in your skin. You put warm water to open your pores,
Right.
to clean them. Same thing here. The warmer the water, not hot, but warm, it gets the pores open so the water gets in. A lot of people give them ice water and aspirins and all kinds of things.
And that's crazy.
That's not really my thing to do.
Okay, see, that's why my flowers always, really, because I just get the cold water thinking that works, but it should be
Right.
room temperature.
Yes, at least.
Oh.
And sometimes even a little warmer if you need to perk them up, like hydrangeas and things like that. A little warm water really helps. And I tell people, they ask me about aspirin, I said, honey, if it makes you feel better, give them an aspirin.
But it's not necessary. Right, somebody said, give them some Sprite. And I was like, Sprite? So that works too?
It helps, a little sugar. But I think the real thing is getting the water to that head. So
Okay.
that it stands up and it doesn't.
So see, that's a science lesson right there. No, really, because there's an art
If
to
you get one
this.
that wilts, cut the stem, put it in warm water, and it gets that water right and then it stands up.
Okay, see, now I've learned something.
Yeah.
But you do beautiful work for weddings. I watch you on social media, and you're in the tents, and chandeliers and flowers hanging everywhere, the bridal bouquets, very exotic
We do a lot of
looking.
things,
It's
yeah.
not the traditional just roses, which are nice, or carnations,
Right.
but your stuff is just, even in each room here. It really is.
Well, we love doing the unusual. We love to do some dance under the flowers on the dance floor, have them hanging from the ceiling. We love that. We love all sorts of things like that. I love a chandelier in the tent filled with flowers.
Yes,
It just
yes, I
adds
saw
so
one of the
much.
weddings that you
Yeah.
did with that.
That adds so
And then
much.
the bridal bouquets were, and the colors and the mixtures and the various tones.
Yeah.
But you're saying these are from,
This is from Ecuador.
Ecuador.
The very best.
okay, and they
Roses
are the
come
best.
from Ecuador.
Okay,
And we do weddings that are, all sizes. We have weddings every weekend just about. And sometimes they're smaller, which is fine, Everybody's not wealthy. I certainly could not afford that.
right, so it's not for you, it's not
Right.
big eyes and little
No,
U's.
right.
Regardless of
We're
if
happy to do it.
their wedding is a small wedding or
Right.
if it's a Beyonce wedding.
That's right.
You're gonna treat everybody the same way
Absolutely.
because of your humble beginnings.
Well, and it's a thing to do.
Right.
And then, afterwards, if they don't take the flowers with them, we ask them if they'd like us to take them to hospice and to nursing homes, and we do that for free. Free service.
And I believe you on that because I asked you, having not made a purchase yet at this new location, to support us in a community event. And it was a nonprofit, but it was honoring people, that had worked in various, this other profession, and they had never been honored. And immediately you said yes. And what you said to me was, call me and remind me. I'm busy. But you call me and remind me the day before, and we will do it. It was such a touching thing for me because it rained all week. And I said, Lord, what's going to happen? So when I called, and then the person showed up in torrential rains.
Such a nice
Very professional, nice, humble young man. Brought the plants you promised us for the stage. Came back in the storm at the end of the event to pick those up. That speaks. And even with the weddings, that speaks when you take it to hospice and nursing homes. Because sometimes it's just the little things.
They never see anything.
Right, and it brightens the day.
It's fun to do. And Trent, who the young man you were talking about, is so great at it. He loves doing it, and he will talk to those people at the nursing homes.
Very personal.
Right.
Right. Very, very personal. And I was like, well, can you stay? He said, no, I got to go to work, but I'll be
Let
back.
me tell you what he will do, and I'm just bragging on him. Sometimes when he'll go to the lady's house for centerpiece, and on the way back, and he said, well, David, I helped her with her tablecloth. I helped put the chairs out. They don't ask him, he just helps.
Right.
What time.
Right, no, really he is. very, very, very professional, represented the business very well in the storm. He didn't have an attitude. Sometimes we run into young
That's right.
people and they lack the maturity to manage whatever is going on, but he showed up and he really rocked with that. So you have so much going on. The hours are perfect.
Yeah, and long.
Yes, and long, and people can always, you're doing church flowers. In case my husband want to send me one of these every day, you can help him out with
Every
that. Every day. As Mr. Patton give me flowers on Facebook, he can give them to me in person,
That's right.
but you're willing to help him out with that. And then, of course, you do the
We
hospitals.
do, and we do gift cards. And one thing about giving flowers all the time, it's a perfect gift. Sometimes is to do flowers for you, a gift card for your wife, or once a month.
Parent, right.
Once a month,
Right.
whatever. And one of the things that people do a lot of times is they will just leave it blank and let them use them when they want to.
That's smart. Okay, we'll talk about that when we come back. We're going to go to our break to our sponsors, and we'll be right back. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors.
The law offices of Siobhan S. Thomas and Associates, 201 9th Street in Uptown Columbus, 706-350-7232. A veteran-owned law firm dedicated to equal rights and justice for all. Make Siobhan S. Thomas and Associates your first choice for legal services. Visit SiobhanThomas.com. The Miley Agency, 4903 Armour Road. Gerald L. Miley and William Rip Singer have been providing comprehensive reviews and insuring families in Georgia and Alabama for more than 50 years. The Miley Agency will work non-stop to find you the best policy at the best price. You can rest assured that your information is secure, confidential, and protected. Call today at 706-996-2045. Adjuster Source 101. Sign up today for the Insurance Claims Adjuster virtual course. The All Lines license allows an adjuster to work claims in residential, commercial, inland marine, ocean marine, and workers' comp, Georgia property and casualty, Alabama property and casualty, and additional states. For more information, call 470-724-1050 or info@adjustersource101.com.
Welcome back to Straightforward. We're on location at the beautiful Highland Hall with the magnificent Dave. Dave, you are amazing. I mean, you're gifted. You told me you didn't go to college for this. You just grew up in this business, and being in the business, you just developed the God-given talent that you had, that you didn't realize you had, because you were just a driver at first,
Right.
as a teenager. And this is what has happened over, 50 years?
Yeah, almost 50 now. And the main thing is I really just love it. I love the customers. I love people.
Right. And it shows. And it shows. And when you mention your name to folks, I mean, it's nothing but great stuff. Even on your social media page. If people want to go read it, you have to believe me. It's there. No, really. And then there's people that don't normally say anything on Facebook, when you post something, they're out there speaking. And I'm like, yeah, so. But you have a big annual event.
We do. One of our favorite things to do is our open house, and we do that once a year. And it's at the end of October, like usually 27th, 29th, depends on right before Halloween. And what it is last year we had 200 people.
Really?
And so a couple of police officers to get them across the street, that sort of thing. So what we do is we decorate every room. We had like 8 trees last year.
And outside, because
Beautiful.
we've sat at that stop sign and looked at all of this outside.
It's
Yes.
a good time to show off, and this house does it well. So we do all of Christmas out early so that our clients can come and friends and
decide what they're going to
Absolutely.
get for gifts
And
or
it's
for
easy in this
themselves.
house for them to see it, because they might see what was on the mantle here, and they say, one of our clients that came in one time and said, "Oh, no, that on that mantle."
Okay.
One of your friends.
One of my people. I can guess who that was. Yes.
And
just as it appears.
yes, it appears.
Yes.
I want all of that. And the tree in the dining room is usually 12 foot, and
12?
yeah, and I love big trees in this house.
Yes.
But it's a great time. We have young gentlemen from the college with their top hats and bow ties to help the ladies up the steps. We have live music at the piano, and we have food and entertainment, and it's a party.
Yes.
So mark your calendar and look for it. We're always advertising on social media. So it's huge.
So it's not by invitation only. Okay. All right. So what is your favorite? And I learned about orchids from you.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about orchids. My very favorite orchid is this one's called waterfall. See how it's trained to look like a waterfall? And the beauty of those is that they will last, the blooms will last for months. Most people don't know, and let me show you this, is most people don't realize they don't have much root system. They don't need it.
But see, I thought it was dying when I did that, but it was living.
It was living. And you know, most of the time they grow, they're in their natural habitat, they grow on the side of a tree in Hawaii.
I've seen them in a state
Yeah.
at Star Island,
That's
and I was telling my husband they had all white orchids growing out of the tree.
And they do.
I had never seen that before.
That's why people bring them in, they say repot it, but you don't want to repot it necessarily so often because it doesn't need it. They don't need, the pot is to hold the dirt in, to hold the plant up.
Oh, so it's
And
not to feed
you
it
know,
or
you
anything.
could almost attach those roots into a tree. And the beauty of them outside, like where you saw them, is the rain will come down and water them, and that's the best way. That's why I tell people not to overwater them. They kill them with water.
The ice cube. I
Ice
always
cube,
remember
yes.
that. Yes.
Just put a few ice cubes here every so often down in there, and that slowly drains.
So is that once a week, once a
I'd
month?
probably
Because
do-
see, I'm not a plant
I'd
person.
probably do it twice a week, just an ice cube twice a
Okay.
week. And then, you know, occasionally if you want to mist it with water, that's fine, it blooms. But this bloom should last 3 months. We sell probably 25, 30 a week.
Really?
And they're beautiful. And
this comes in white?
It comes other colors as well.
Okay.
White is still the #1 color, and I think that's because it's on every news show.
Right. And you can see it.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's in every magazine.
Right.
But they really are beautiful, and most people just worry about them.
Right.
They overwater them, they worry about them.
Just overcare.
That's right.
When you overcare, you can kill them.
Absolutely.
That's probably my problem, because I have not a clue.
And you know, they should enjoy them for the 3 months that they bloom, and then after that, they're good.
Okay.
All right.
And so about the hydrangeas,
Uh-huh.
Daniela, my friend and our mutual friend, loves hydrangeas. That's her favorite, she says. So is that hard to care for?
Well, the potted ones are not, they're again like water, and they like when you plant them outside to be more shady.
Right, because my great-grandmother had them, and they were blue in her yard when I was a little girl.
They knew how to change the colors by what they put in the soil.
Oh, really?
My grandmother did that too. They would do all kinds of things and soil change.
And that's what changed the color.
They
See,
did.
little did I know, I just thought it depends on having that particular plant.
And they also, you know,
And they like water.
they do like water.
Okay.
And one thing with cut ones is if you have a cut one that you cut and it wilts, if you will cut that again, lay it flat in the tub or a sink of water for an hour, recut it, it should perk right back up.
Really?
It's like all about getting that water back up to the head of that flower.
Okay, see, I didn't know that. And then why are we cutting it
At an angle.
at an angle?
Because if it sits flat on the, it won't be able to absorb
Oh, won't
water,
be
but
able
the
to go
angle
up
will
the
get
tip.
the water up.
Ah, okay, all right.
And removing any of the bottom foliage for cut ones too, like the leaves, so that
Right.
it's all that strength to that flower.
Okay, see, and that's because I was telling another friend that's a good plant person. When you get the roses and all of that, and you got all of those leaves on there, then that's drinking some of the water too.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I just thought of that, not that I really knew that.
You're right.
I guess that. Yeah, so it's a lot of science and chemistry to this.
That's right. You learn the care and handling and how to figure out what keeps them going longer.
Okay, so let's give our audience the date of the event or the time of the year and your hours and the days that you're open.
Okay, it's last weekend in October, almost always, and that falls somewhere at the end of October. It's usually always at night because it's candlelight and beautiful.
Right.
And 7 to 9. And we're open normally Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to 12, because almost every Saturday we have a wedding.
You got a wedding, got somewhere to go.
Got some
And then with the church flowers, you're
Church
doing
flowers,
those and
we
you
do
deliver
that.
those on Sunday
We do.
morning, so they're fresh.
I've been blessed to have key to almost every church. So.
Oh my goodness!
And it's,
You're more trustworthy than probably the mayor's guild. I hate that. He has a key to all the churches.
most of them.
Amazing.
But we deliver church flowers, yes, and we love doing that. And that's so much fun. And as you know from my social media, I like to post those pictures with music on Sunday.
Yes,
That little
yes.
Because I love the piano.
Yes, because our friend Sharon Bond, she bought some in memory of my husband once, and she was praising you about how beautiful they were. So, see, I've been stalking you a long time. Stalking is illegal, but I've been watching you.
Good.
Well, I just thank you so much for your support,
Thank you.
the hospitality. This is a very, very beautiful place, and people can stop in Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and just walk through here. It is amazing. And again, what's the name of that? The Highland, what's that story?
The Unseen Horror at Highland Hall.
The Unseen Horror at Highland Hall. If you've not heard of it, check it
Google.
out. I will be doing that. And for all of your floral needs, whether it's for church, weddings, or just because you think your wife is wonderful and you want to give her flowers every day, you can call the fabulous Dave Benefield at Highland
And tell
Hall.
them Gloria.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. This has been straightforward. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Until next time, be blessed.
What up, world? What's up, Columbus? Be sure to tune in every Sunday, Straightforward with Gloria Strode, right here on NBC 38.